Never lose your own name at the expense of a company, which was probably the best piece of advice I ever got. Jen Miller gave me the best piece of advice though when I was starting. We first met, she was my peer, my mentor, then we became friends. And she could have viewed me as competition because I was the new kid on the block. Yeah. She never saw it that way, or she did, she never let on. She said to me, one thing I want you to remember, Petra, there will be a time when Reebok will no longer need you. That's true. Never lose your own name at the expense of a company, which was probably the best piece of advice I ever got. So when I did a Reebok event, I would then also do one piece of a class under my own name.
Right.
I don't know what I was doing at the time, but like dance aerobics or step without the step Reebok, so I built their brand and they built me for sure.
Yeah.
But when the brand, as with anything, it was evolving, and I came in to Reebok at the highlight and the high moments of their fitness, and then they started to move into sports again, and more traditional athletics, so we had to go.
Yeah.
And because I had, as they were building, leveraging me and spreading my name across the world in a way that I could never have afforded myself. When they separated and I did my own brand of DVDs at the time, I had already built an audience.
Right.
And thank goodness Jen had said, keep your own name. She says, always do my own PR on the side, my own thing. Never at the expense of Reebok, never at their expense.
Yeah.
But it allowed me, when they disappeared, to keep riding that wave of reach.
Yeah, I guess that's important. I guess in any kind of business is to be aware that things don't last forever, and to sort of anticipate, well, when it does change, how can you set yourself up for that, that change in the industry or who you're working for. And
I think in our industry, because it's such a passion industry, we don't do that well.
Right.
The thought of letting go or changing who we are in the industry, it feels such a part of our identity that it can feel very threatening. I think some of the best things I have done is look at how people out of the industry are getting ready to pivot, leverage, ramp up, find their runway. And whether it is through circumstance, maybe you get injured, or maybe you're aged out. This is an industry that appreciates youth. I could fight that all I want. I can say, this is awesome. These kids have got it dialed in. Where is the gap where I and my knowledge and maybe my personal pain points can fill? And as I'm still working with what I know, got my income coming in here, build my side hustle to test things out, so that when maybe I am too old or I don't want to grapevine or do burpees for a living anymore, this is set in motion. And that's what I started to do in the convention circuit. I was always the fitness gal, I was always doing movement. I was teaching 8 classes a weekend, fantastic. As I moved into my 50s, I did not want to be sweating for dollars. I started trading my sweats for stilettos, although I still can't think with heels on, I have to take them off. But gratefully, the fitness industry that brought me up gave me room to then start just lecturing, and then trying out material around happiness and positivity, and now perfectionism. And because people had cemented these 15, 20 years of trust with people doing my grapevines and step, they came along with me for the ride. Not all of them, but that's, I think, the other thing we have to be prepared for too. As we change, you can do 2 things. You can stick with what you know, and what you know will fill a room, if that's still in alignment with your values. Or if your values start to change, do you then pivot and then hope that because you're speaking and doing your truth, the right people will come to you?
Right, yeah.
And I had to make a decision about 4 years ago when HIIT training was coming into Tabata, and the dance aerobics, Zumba had taken over that playing field very well, and my rooms were getting smaller. So to be a value, if a convention's paying for me, I got to fill a room.
Right.
So for a while, I did what I thought they needed.
What was that?
Teaching the boot camp.
Okay.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. There's many more people better at it and more ready for it. And I stepped off the stage and I said, I'm going to step away for a bit and figure out what it is I need to do to still be relevant, but still do things that I love and when I step off the stage, I feel like I made an impact, but not at the cost of my own values and happiness.